Hello, what's up everybody? I think we're gonna get started now. So, we've got today's matchup. 4 Pool Lifeguards versus Korean Mechanics Tier 3. Lots of Zerg today. We've got DeadInfested versus Zohan, Elevation versus WhiskeyDingo, and Helping Wino versus Triple T. Let's get into it. I think we're gonna get the ZVT out of the way first, so we can have the perfect matchup twice in a row after that. Actually, maybe before we get started, I should just very briefly have a look at the map pool, because I have a scene for that, so why not use the scene and not let the scene go to waste. So as you can see, we've got Butter, Goodnight, and Eclipse as our map pool for week 1. And week 2 we actually have Neo Sylphid, the 3-player map, but this time we just have 2 2-player maps and 1 big 4-player macro map. So we'll see. I don't know how any of these games have gone. I don't know if any of them are gonna go to game 3, but we'll see. So yeah, let's get started. I'm gonna load up the first replay. How y'all doing? Everybody good? Everybody practicing for their next match? Alright, here we go, game number 1. Let's see what happens. Alright, we've got in the top right corner the Zohan. In the bottom right corner, we've got Destroyera. Destroyera. That's a difficult name to pronounce. Sorry about that. But yeah, that's DeadInfested. So we'll see what he wants to do. See how these people want to open up their first game here on Butter. Of course, Butter is a very aggressive map. It is a 2-player map, so you know where your opponent spawns right away. It could lead you to do some tricky play, some very aggressive play. So Crowbar, how are you doing? So far, so good. Supply depot going down. And looks like DeadInfested is taking his pool at 9. So a very aggressive opening, which is perfectly fine for this map, I think. Even against Terran, maybe the standard is to go 12 hatch. But yeah, this is he's getting speed as well. Right away. And if the Terran is not prepared for this, then you can die immediately. If things go well, if the Terran manages to defend this, then Zerg will at least be able to kind of control the natural of the Terran and drone up behind that, hopefully, and transition into something like 2-hatch Muta or 3-hatch Muta. 9 pool speed, yes. So that SCV knows it's knows what's up. Terran Barracks is just starting to make Marines. Second barracks going down. And the Lings are out. And let's see what he gets done here. Very good for Zohan is pulling the SCVs, and you protect your choke with these SCVs, and hopefully you don't lose too many of them. But even if you lose some SCVs, that's perfectly fine here. Just have to make sure that the Zerg is not able to poke a hole in your line of defense here, and spill out into the main and hit these Marines over here. I guess DeadInfested is waiting until he gets 8 Lings, even 10 lings. But yeah, this marine count is just gonna keep growing, so I feel like when you do this, you should probably try to get in their face right away. Yeah, this is kind of tough. You can't really break through here. Actually very ambitious to go ahead and take some snipes at that Overlord. You don't want your Marines to be out of position at this particular time. But yeah, it looks like this is a perfect hold. He doesn't lose even a single SCV. And at this point, I think DeadInfested should stop producing lings. I mean, he's getting his natural expansion, so that's good. But just drone up from here, because you're not going to get anything done with just lings at this point. Bunkers being made, so yeah, this is... Oh, look, circling's going in, and they're trying to pick up some Marines, but... Yeah, that's not going to do much. I mean, you just threw away a couple of lings for a couple of Marines, which is perfectly fine for the Terran. Perfectly fine. So I guess now Zohan's going to be able to get his command center up. Just 2 racks producing Marines. Just getting into his gas. So we'll be seeing the academy go down. Get some medics out. And I think, yeah, Zohan's looking perfectly fine. This 9 pull speed really didn't do anything. Even the scouting SCV manages to survive, so 0 SCVs lost for Zohan. Really nice opening. Third hatch is coming up, Lair's on the way, and we'll see what he wants to do in terms of tech. Zohan stopped marine production for now. The academy is coming up. Now let's see what this drone's gonna make. This drone is gonna make a queen's nest. Wow. So I guess he's gonna try to transition into Crazy Zerg from here, which yeah, I don't know if this is gonna work, because Terran has a really good economy. Zerg's is not bad either, I guess, but you're gonna need more than just 3 Sunks to be able to hold the push that Terran's gonna be coming out with after this. Because there's 4 more in this bunker, I think. I don't know, maybe you can hold this with just 3 Sunks and maybe a couple of lings, but yeah, this is gonna be a tough attack to hold. And I think once Zohan realizes what's going on, he's gonna get into factory, maybe get a siege tank out. And Crazy Zerg on 2 bases, it's tough. More creeps coming up. Queen's Nest is done. Yeah, this is some solid defense. Yeah, you can't go down there anymore now that there are 6 of them there. So we'll see what Zohan wants to do to combat this. Things running around, not really getting much done. I mean, there's just too much Terran here. Yeah, that's really a shame. I think these lings were best served doing something else. Maybe even just defending in case the Terran manages to to get a siege tank out. That's a bit of a shame, but yeah. Zohan getting into a factory now. Scans the main, sees what's going on. You already expect this, you know the hive is coming when you see a line of sunks that big. Factory getting the add-on, so we're gonna get siege mode out here in just a moment. And yeah, for the moment, I think it would be nice if Zohan went around and tried to check to see if there's any hidden bases, because he hasn't really been doing that. He's just assumed that the Zerg is in his base. I guess he's gonna go check right now, see if the third is taken. Yeah, there he goes. See if there's nothing there. Yeah, you don't really want to waste all your scans just looking for bases, right? When you have the opportunity to easily just walk around and look at it. Big conga line of Marines. It's one of the things that's really difficult about Medic Marine is just keeping them in a nice formation. All the scans going down. Sees that there's nothing else there. No upgrades yet. I suppose maybe some upgrades are being made right now. No, Vulture's coming out. Oh, that's interesting. I would think that maybe you'd want to go into siege mode right away to try to pressure these sunks, but maybe this is a better idea. Maybe he realizes, well, the ultras are already going to be out soon, so maybe I should just lay mines and diffuse the ultralisks that way. So that chitinous plating being upgraded right now. But yeah, this is a very sizable Terran army. I think this is enough just raw damage output to be able to deal with the ultras. That said, though, they are not upgraded. They're 0-0 Marines. And you really need to get your upgrades going in when you're fighting against Crazy Zerg. Excuse me. DeadInfested trying to sneak a base, and he will get it. Then again, this Zerg army is extremely small, and now it's fragmented into two pieces. The Terran army is also not synced up, though. Let's see if Zohan can lay some mines here. Mines are extremely good against ultras.
More Zerglings.
Oh, thanks for the follow, Light Swarm. What's up? Here come the mechies. You're absolutely right, yeah. So this base gets denied. And when you have just 2 gas, it's really difficult to fight a Terran army with Crazy Zerg. That said, he has a very impressive amount of ultras. But with these mines out here and Zerg being confirmed on just 2 bases... Yeah, look at this. This is gonna do so much damage. Ultra's actually just walking around the army like it's nothing. Walking around all the mines. Yeah, these are just ultras. They don't have Zerglings, and it's really it's too small a group to be able to do anything, I think. Now look at this. So efficient. So incredibly efficient. The tanks are out here now as well, so yeah, this is completely shut down. I wouldn't be surprised if DeadInfested just GG's here. I mean, he tried it. He tried to go for Crazy Zerg, but at this point, I think there's no way you're getting out of your base. You're not going to get a sizable enough army, even if you have the upgrade advantage, as he does. There's just no way you're gonna get an army big enough to fight. I mean, this is not even... You can't even call this an army, really. And they're walking through mines again. And clearly the Ultras are capable of fighting the Terran army when it's in such a small group. But even this small engagement right here with such a small Terran force, even that left the Ultras just barely alive. I mean, when you're in a situation like this, what do you even do? You can't even... You basically already have all your upgrades, so you're not going to get any stronger than this. Oh, look at that. Ultras sniping the mines before they hit. It's very impressive. These Ultras shoot from the hip. But yeah, you're never gonna get another base, right? I mean, you've got like this is a very impressive tank force. Amazing, look at that. They don't have upgrades yet, but you don't even need upgrades at this point. Look at all these factories going down. That's very impressive. He's actually making upgrades as well. Yeah, I think this entire army is just gonna march down the map and erase everything. By the way, how's everything? Is the sound okay? Sound level, mic level, everything good? Let me know if not. Yeah, he needs to get out of this minefield. That's definitely the case. But this, you know, this amount of tanks, you don't even need siege mode, right? This is such a powerful amount of tanks. But amazingly, DeadInfested is actually going to get this base up, which I wasn't expecting. I think Zohan has been a little bit too passive. I think you could have basically already ended the game with this force, I think, right? Yeah, I think the only reason Zerg isn't completely mined out yet is because Zerg has been in such a low econ number of drones up to this point. Making Knight is now trying to connect the main with this third base. This is, again, a very sizable and impressive number of Ultras. And the tank's just kind of sitting there. I guess I can understand it. Zohan's macroing up, getting more bases, and just getting himself an econ that will allow him to just pump out more and more tanks. And basically make this game unlosable for him. Meanwhile, the Evo chambers are still producing new upgrades. And once your Zerglings and your Ultras get to 3-3, they're very, very tough to beat. But even then, when you've got the mech army like Zohan does... well, you can't just throw them away like that, but he doesn't even care, you know. You don't even care about a couple of vultures. You've got 2 control groups, maybe 2.5 control groups of tanks, and Goliaths. You're gonna just completely wreck anything that the Zerg could possibly have at this point. Still, I think this game would have been a lot simpler if you could have ended it before defilers came out. Because now that defilers are out, I think you have to get into your vessels as well, right? That's some run-by attempts. Fifth base coming up for Terran. At this point, all the bases are just going to be taken. There's a couple more bases. I don't think I've ever seen Butter completely taken with all bases occupied. But yeah, I have to say it's very impressive that managed to get a third base up. And I like that he's been just staying back, because he knows he can't beat the army right now. He has to get more bases, has to get more economy. But here comes the Terran Death March. Look at all these tanks. That is many tanks, yes? Look at that, that's so many tanks. Maybe there's a Terran in the chat who can clue me in on what the upgrades should be when you're doing this kind of style. And look at how strong tanks are even when they're not sieged. Tanks actually don't get affected by Ensnare in terms of their firing speed. Something to keep in mind. Yeah, we've got swarms coming down here, but there's no units. Oh, there they come. It's kind of amazing that Terran has so much that even with the Dark Swarms, you can basically just A-move everything. I bet you could A-move through all these sunks just with your tanks without even using siege mode. There's the GG. And very nice, solid game by Zohan. Very well played. I like that he took his time, that he took more bases, that he didn't just throw a bunch of army away. So, yeah, very well played. Very nicely done. Let's update the score for a moment. Okay, let's get into the next game. Zohan versus DeadInfested, game 2 on Good Night. Alright, in the top left we've got... Zohan says S. I don't know why he says S. What's going on? In the top left we've got DeadInfested. In the bottom right we've got Zohan, who said S. I don't know why. Maybe he was trying to split. Good luck, have fun. It's very nice, very kind of you. Good luck, have fun on both sides. Let's see what happens here. At least the only thing I can say about the game right now is that DeadInfested is sending his overlord in the correct direction. So he will get the first scout. He wanted to build SCV, yeah, that must be it. Press the S for the SCV. I guess the S for the SCV is that's, you don't change that hotkey, right? It's a perfectly fine hotkey the way it is. And again, Protoss players probably rebind the P for the probe key, right? Oh, there's apparently Lightstorm says there's a mineral boosting position for the middle mineral patch with this layout. That's interesting. I did not know that. How does that work? Can you explain that? Yeah, mineral boosting is very mysterious. I do it when I'm on the right side, and I know that when you're on the left side, like this, you can actually place your spawning pool in this position, and that will actually boost the top patch, will auto boost it. There's actually no drone on the top patch right now. It's interesting. So scouting SCV is going out, sees the Overlord, knows that DeadInfested is in the top left position. Barracks is being made. Supply depot, so same opening. And this is actually the second scouting SCV. There's a drone going down here. I guess maybe he had sent out a drone before he saw the SCV with his Overlord. Because he clearly knows where the Terran is right now. So yeah, I guess he's not going to be doing any shenanigans with hatcheries in the middle of the map. Unless it's going to happen right now. I guess not. That's a shame. Would have liked to see something like that, something crazy. But no, everything's looking perfectly normal. No 9 pool speed this time. SCV very wisely checking to see if DeadInfested's being ultra greedy, getting a third base or something. Well, everything's normal. Command center going down. Just 2 Marines. 1 Rax producing units. I did not realize that there's still a drone in place. It's actually very surprising. This seems to be a pacifist drone and pacifist Marines. There we go. That drone's not getting out alive, I'm afraid. And meanwhile, the SCV is being chased by a couple of lings. Only 4 lings, so he is droning up. Let's see what a more standard game looks like between these two. Only 4 links, but Zohan decides to make the bunker anyway, which is always a good call. I don't think you really necessarily need it in this case, but yeah, when your SCV isn't going to be in their base anymore, you need to make sure that they're not going to just pump out a bunch of links and attack you. Because if you've got 1 Rax and you've got just a small amount of units, then it is very possible to just bust him with pure ling. Actually, I'm not entirely sure. Maybe you just always make a bunker in this situation. Maybe someone who's Terran can chime in on that. Bunch of sunks are going up. 3rd hatch in the main. So this is going to be super safe for now. And Lair's coming up, so we'll see what he wants to go with in terms of tech. Maybe he's going to go for Crazy Zerg again. It's possible. Is there a name for Crazy Zerg when you skip both Lurkers and Mutas? Because I know that Crazy Zerg basically comes in 2 variants, right? You've got the variants where you use Mutas. You gain a little bit of map control and you try to defend your expansions with Mutalisks. And then there's the alternate version where you use just Lurkers and you skip Mutas. I guess maybe this version of Crazy Zerg where you don't have Mutas or Lurkers is the only version that you can do on 2 base. And when you, if you want to go an intermediate tech, like just only Muta or only Lurkers, you need to have your 3rd base. But it looks like this time it's going to be Lurkers, or maybe Hydras, but I'm assuming it's Lurkers. The Den's coming down, and the Queen's Nest is coming down as well. So, looks like another quick tech type build from DeadInfested. And yeah, like mentioned, there's no Evo to be seen thus far. So I don't actually know this build. My understanding is that you always get double Evo with this build to be able to not only get your ultras out very quickly, but also outpace the Terran in terms of upgrades. There's the lurker upgrade. And there's a Wraith out. I like that. So, because there's absolutely no tech for the Zerg. So, yeah, why not go Wraith and try to pick off a couple of Overlords? There's actually not that many Overlords around. And, wow, look at this. There's actually a third base coming up. Amazingly. Which I guess makes sense because you're going for lurkers. You really can't do this off of just 2 bases, but Zohan, being extremely diligent, actually scouts around for this and finds it. Actually finds it right away, and I'm not sure if DeadInfested noticed that it got scouted because it finished and he's making a drone, so I guess he probably didn't see. You're making a bunker here, but yeah, you don't even need the bunker, right? There's nothing here. This base is gonna fall right away. A couple of Hydras are out. Evo Chamber's coming down now, and I guess this creep colony was made to protect against the Wraiths. Yeah, the Zerg does not have does not actually have that many Overlords out on the map, so this Wraith isn't going to get much damage done, but still, it's very nice to have. Just one Marine and one SCV firing away at this hatchery. It's gonna take forever. It's really annoying when that happens because you get the your base is under attack message constantly for like 2 minutes until they finish killing it off. And what happened here? DeadInfested actually, he's going for drop, yeah. That's amazing because when you see fast Overlords in this situation, you don't really expect anything except drop, but what are you going to drop with? Not with just these units, right? And DeadInfested actually hasn't started his hive yet, so I'm guessing he's not going to bother trying to go for higher tech, despite getting the Queen's Nest. Oh my god, the Queen's Nest was for queens. That's something that's never happened before in StarCraft. But yeah, Zohan is going for mech again. He's got factories just pumping out vultures and soon to be tanks. So these queens aren't going to be able to do much in terms of ensnare, and there's not really enough to be able to use Broodling right now. I mean, I guess you could get rid of a couple of tanks, so that works. But Broodling is a very expensive spell. You need 150 mana for it, and it doesn't look to me like he's going to be waiting for that. So I don't think the queens are going to be doing anything. Oh, we'll see what this drop gets done. And Terran has a Wraith out, but yeah, that Wraith is out of position. Oh, you don't really expect something like this, right? Here we go. Let's see what he can get done. Oh, he's going for the main? Oh, okay. Okay. Oh, nice dropping out that circling on the siege tank. Alright, let's go. Let's drop it. Lurkers going for the SCVs. Oh, look at this. Oh no, it's a massacre. But there's not enough units here, I think. The tanks with siege mode are incredibly good. Well, I have to say though, these lurkers have gotten enormous amounts of work done. 14, 7, and 1. So, crazy amount of SCVs lost. But once this is cleaned up, what do you really have? It was a very nice drop, though. He did a lot of damage. Yeah, it's kind of hard for me to gauge what the result is of this attack. Amazing, this vulture is still firing away at this hatch. It's taking absolutely forever. But you're still just on 2 bases. With very little tech to speak of. You've got queens and that's about it. Oh, he's got his hive now. He's getting his Evo chamber, so I guess he's gonna try to transition into ultras from here. But it's really tough, right? I mean, Terran's been building more SCVs very diligently. Still has a perfectly healthy economy. Well, you got a double expansion here in the bottom base, and then right here in the top right base. So, in terms of economy, you've done a lot of damage, but it's really not so bad for Terran. Oh, Muta's coming out now. I wasn't expecting that at this stage of the game. I guess he noticed that there's a lot of vultures out. And not really much anti-air. But Zohan is prepared for this as well, so... Maybe he got these turrets because of the drops. I'm not sure. I don't think he's actually scanned the Mutas. So a Muta switch might be able to do something. At the very least, you have the mobility now to fly around to these bases and kill some SCVs. Yeah, I heard some parasites go off there as well. I don't know where they happened, though. Maybe one of these. This queen is going to get picked off. These queens didn't really do much of anything, unfortunately. And again, well, they say vultures don't kill buildings, but when there's nothing around to defend them, they do. And this is kind of the worst feeling as Zerg. Oh, look at this. This is why he went into Mutas. He's going into Guardians. But when you've already got this many factories, you just pump out a bunch of Goliaths, and these Guardians do nothing. Because with the range upgrades, there's just literally nothing that Guardians can do against Goliaths. Goliaths are even better against Guardians than they are against Mutas. Oh, this is nice. He's getting some damage done. He's killing off a lot of SCVs, actually. Yeah, these tanks aren't gonna do anything for you. Very good to keep a couple of Mutas around for the raids. And Zohan needs to start producing Goliaths now. This is actually doing a lot more than I thought it would. It's very impressive attack. And meanwhile, DeadInfested is getting his 3rd base. So there might be life in this game yet. I actually thought it was already over, but it doesn't look like it. Unfortunately, these Guardians went out too far and they're getting picked off now. Between these raids and a couple of Goliaths that Zohan had, it was just barely enough to be able to pick off the little anti-air that DeadInfested had. Yeah, that's a good point. You can actually turn off the vision to see the parasites. That's very cool. I didn't realize that. I should look at the chat more often. But yeah, at this point, Well, there's Mutas and there's no anti-air here, so that's a thing. I don't see the Goliaths moving into position here. Wraiths are coming up now, fortunately for Zohan. These Devourers are going to come out, but I think all the Guardians are probably going to die before then. Actually just producing Wraiths now, which is very good. And I'm guessing that more Goliaths are going to be joining in here later. But yeah, all the anti-air is gone now. So I think this is probably going to be the killing move here. Killing low. See how much Zohan has besides this. Using more and more tanks, Goliaths. And these Lings are gonna go straight into the minefield. It's a shame. I'm playing like a little shit, I'm sorry. Oh my. What are you talking about, Zohan? You're playing really well. From here, what can you do? Oh, this is very good, though. Hyros versus Wraiths. This is not a very good matchup. Tanks are strong, man. And there's no defilers, so there's nothing you can really do about this. This is just GG at this point. Oh, there we go. That's it. It's over. Very nicely played by Zohan again. So that will be a 2-0. A 2-0 for Korean Mechanics. Very well played. GG. Let me load up the next game. Next game is gonna be Elevation versus WhiskeyDingo. Wait, or was it El Pinguino versus WhiskeyDingo? Let me check. Oh yeah, Elevation, there it is. Alright, now we get to the real matchup. CVZ. You've got WhiskeyDingo on the top right and Elevation in the bottom right as well. Well, those are the only spawn positions on Butter, so we can just call it the top spawn and the bottom spawn. WhiskeyDingo is in beautiful navy blue. And Elevation in the black. See if we can switch colors. We can. Should we switch colors? No, I think the blue and the black is perfectly fine, right? Or do you want to be able to see it on the minimap? Let's just switch colors so we can see it on the minimap more clearly. So for now, it's just drones for both players. We'll see what they want to do. Taking a gas. And okay, that's a gas rig. Okay. Gas rig before anything came down. Maybe this is going to be a 10 hatch. Is that possible? Could he go for that? Meanwhile, Pool's coming down at 9 right here. Yeah, I guess this is a 10 hatch from Elevation. Which is a very strong build. I think this is stronger against 9 Pool, even with 9 Pool speed. But I'm not entirely sure because I've not actually played 10 hatch versus 9 Pool speed myself. But I think with the extra larva, it should be very strong, even if the opponent gets their speed up very quickly. Because the econ is just so much lower with 3 drones going on gas now. Yeah, ZWZ time. That's right. This is when I lose all my viewers. All my viewers are already gone. Because it's CVZ time. That's okay. If you stick around for like 5 more minutes, I'm sure everything will be done and dusted. So, very nice. We have the first lings out. It looks like they're not going to go straight to the base. WhiskeyDingo, having not seen the build yet, decides to play it safe instead. And I'm thinking that, yeah, lings are going to start right away here, as soon as the hatch is done. He should be seeing now that there's at least a pool and a hatch. He doesn't really see much else. And getting into his lair, which I like. I think that's a good choice here. Just tech up. Stay on one base. When you want to have more larvae in a situation like this, so this is actually very dangerous. You could actually just die to these lings very easily if you don't protect yourself, make a sunk. He's actually not making a sunk. That's actually surprising to me. So he's going to try to just hold this at his ramp. But I'm not sure he's going to be able to. Because the production is just too great from elevation. Still, so far so good. Very nicely done. More links coming up. And Speed is going to finish in a moment, I think. This is a very good defense from WhiskeyDingo. And yet more lings are going to come up. Typically when you play against 9 hatch or 10 hatch, you have to be very careful with teching. Oh, they finally spill through and the creep colony is still building, so this could be very dangerous because look at how much is coming. Look at how many lings are coming. They have speed. They're going to be there very quickly. And this sunk is still not being morphed yet. Oh, first drones are going to start dying here if he doesn't do anything. More lings coming in, and I think this is actually GG because I don't think you can stop this, even with the sunk coming up now. Unfortunately for elevation, he tries to commit onto the Spire, but he doesn't have nearly enough links to do that. Spire has a lot of health. And I think, yeah, first Midas are already in production, so this could be disastrous for elevation if he doesn't get something done right now. But I think he still should have enough production to be able to kill a serious amount of drones while getting into spores at home. But he doesn't have an Evo chamber right just yet. So no Evo chamber means he's going to have to rely on counterattacks to keep the mutas at home. But it looks like WhiskeyDingo just has enough to defend here. Unfortunately, he's down to only 3 drones, so he might have lost this game either way, even if his mutas do manage to come over here. And there's still no Evo chamber for elevation, so he's not going to be able to make any spores just yet. These lings coming in now, and yeah, the second creep's going to come in. They're going to try to kill more drones. Oh my god, he manages to save all his drones. That was very well done, very well done. And is elevation going to try to make a sunk in the opponent's net? I think that's probably just a rally point. Try to squeeze out another drone. Unfortunately, gets picked off. There's still no Evo chamber, so he's not going to be able to make spores. I think this is going to be his final stand. He's going to try to kill all the drones. And he might actually do it. If he's really lucky. I don't think he will, but... Oh, look, there's more drones coming out. Yeah, this is like definitely one now by WhiskeyDingo, I feel. Let's see if we can get another one of those. Oh, there's one drone goes down. Only one drone goes down. He's attacking his own sunken fish. Yeah, that's just about it. There's nothing left here. He's finally got his Evo up, and his spores are coming up now. So I guess he's gonna try to play it out a little bit more. I mean, he does have more drones than WhiskeyDingo does. So who knows? Maybe you can make something work if you get enough spores up. Maybe you can do something. But the problem is, WhiskeyDingo doesn't have to make spores, right? There's no spire, there's not even a lair. So WhiskeyDingo can just drone up, and he's eventually going to surpass Elevation in drone count. He's surpassed him in tech already. And Elevation, meanwhile, has to give up drones just to be able to protect everything he has here. I mean, he's also on 2 bases right now. He's got his natural, so it's going to be really tricky to be able to do anything from here. That said, though, WhiskeyDingo only has 2 mutas, and you can't do. Oh, actually, there's maybe some space here in the corner. But it looks like there's no easy way to do damage right at this moment. Another spore is coming up. I think you can maybe technically hit this with the mutas, but it's really tough. So at this point, I feel like WhiskeyDingo should just... yeah, that's very good. He's getting another hatch. And with... just barely doesn't... Oh, is he gonna snipe it? Oh, this is taking so much damage. It's such a shame. Such a shame that he doesn't get it. But yeah, he's gonna have to get his hatch up to be able to equal the production. And I think with Elevation having gone to a 3rd hatch, I think what you're gonna try to do is just overwhelm them with links again, because you don't have tech, right? So you can't try to catch up in that way. But he doesn't have the economy to support this. You need to make a lot of drones to be able to make this work. Then again, you don't need that many drones to be able to just produce lings nonstop. So maybe it's not a bad idea. I think if WhiskeyDingo is not on top of his scouting, it's very problematic that the spore hasn't gotten morphed yet. Yeah, so I guess that's going to be Elevation's game plan from here. Just outproduce pure ling. And I think once you get a couple of mutas, you're going to... I think from this point on, WhiskeyDingo should be able to close it out if he just plays solid, gets his own production up. You might even be able to just do mass ling attack yourself, because... Sure, Elevation has 3 hatches to your 2 hatches, but he's got a lot of spores. He doesn't have a lot of lings at this moment. But very impressively, Elevation has just made pure drones non-stop, almost. There's even more drones coming. That's actually very... it's a little excessive, even. You don't need that many drones. There's now 25 drones. You don't even have, like, you literally can't spend your money in time, I think. So this is gonna continue, and it's gonna actually get a bit interesting, and it's gonna get a little bit difficult to tell, I think, who's really ahead. Because Elevation has an absolutely ridiculous amount of drones. WhiskeyDingo has the tech. And he's getting his 3rd hatch as well, at his expansion, so... Yeah, we'll see what happens. Spire is now coming down as well. This might actually turn into a long one, amazingly. Because I was ready to call it GG when... at several points, actually. I thought that Elevation was going to kill WhiskeyDingo with pure lings, but unfortunately just barely didn't manage to do it. And then WhiskeyDingo had mutas out, while Elevation had absolutely nothing at home. No spores, no nothing. But they both just barely somehow managed to survive. And now let's see what happens from here. I do say though that Elevation has quite a few overlords in positions where you could pick them off. I wonder if we're actually going to see something beyond their attack, or if maybe we're going to see upgrades to the Lings. Because upgraded Lings might not be a bad idea in this situation. Like a +1 attack Lings absolutely wreck 0 Lings. Okay, nice work by Elevation, trying to pick some drones off. Doesn't get any, but... running into the main here, just very annoying. Oh, he's actually not going to go into the main, which I think is the right call, because there's something. Oh, gets a drone. Very nice. Yeah, I have to say he's fighting very hard. Elevation is. He's got his own mutas out right now. He's going to be behind the muta count though. Oh, look at how many mutas he has. I guess when you have 27 drones, you can actually just make mutas. And WhiskeyDingo is not able to attack in here with all these spores. So he's gonna fly home. We have an even muta count now, which is amazing. Actually, there's more mutas right here at home. And Scourge, so... we'll see how the micro battle goes. This is gonna be interesting. We get to see who's better at just pure control. Oh my god, the Scourge coming. Oh, I think they picked up 2 mutas there. Maybe not the most efficient use of Scourge, but now you can actually just kill these mutas, because now you've got more mutas, right? He's losing more drones. Oh. The problem for WhiskeyDingo is he's way up in supply right now, and he's got more mutas, but he's losing so many drones, and there was already a significant difference in the drone count. That now, yeah, now he's got 16 drones to Elevation's 27 drones. But Elevation has no more mutas. At least not in that flock. I don't know if he's made new ones at home. Looks like he's got 1 over here. A couple of Lings. So he keeps producing mutas, that's good. But yeah, WhiskeyDingo can't easily attack in here. He should be able to actually attack the main, because there's only 2 spores there and he's got a lot of mutas. But it doesn't look like he doesn't know about that, right? He doesn't know that there's only 2 spores in here. There's 2 of them are still just creeps. So he should, I think he might be able to actually pick off the spores here if he gets into a situation again where he has this many more mutas than his opponent. But I think Elevation is going to be evening up the muta count pretty soon. Unless there is a move. Yeah, I like this. Because there are so many spores out here now, you should be able to just do more damage with Lings, right? Elevation finds a couple of Lings, but runs into a Scourge minefield. And again, Elevation has only a few mutas compared to an absolutely ridiculous amount for WhiskeyDingo. And the Scourge, so I think actually that's... wow. This is actually just too much damage onto the mutas with these spores here. These spores are actually... these are really evening out the fight. But I don't think he's very far removed from being able to just move in and kill the spores. Because he's got more than 12 mutas here. gonna get more lings. More mutas are coming down as well. Both of them have +1 armor. I think at this point you may think about getting +1 attack as well if you're WhiskeyDingo, because this will allow you to bust the spores much more easily. Then again, +2 defense mutas are absolutely insane. They just don't die. This is a terrible move by Elevation. Flying in with less mutas than your opponent, these mutas are gonna get wrecked. And there's only so many times you can sacrifice your army to get damage done to the economy. I don't think this is a good idea. It's getting more drones though. But again, this is like... It's not that much damage. It's not enough damage to it's not worth losing your entire army over. You know what I mean? So now he has 1 muta. That's just it. That's just 1 muta. I think you can actually bust the spores now. You start with this one, then this one. I think you can do it. But he's going into the main. Oh, this might be a killer move because there's still just 2 spores here. Still just +1 for both of them. Oh, he's actually not committing. I actually think he could have busted here. Then again, there's so many creeps coming up. Maybe he just doesn't want to risk it. What's up, Shimmer? How are you doing? We are in a big ZVZ. And these players are just throwing armies at each other. Meanwhile, WhiskeyDingo is taking this 3rd, which is a very nice move, I think, because I actually don't think Elevation has been scouting for other bases at all. He's been so busy just holding off the mutas or microing. Yeah, this is not a good engage with this many. This is actually there's fewer mutas for Elevation, but the spores make it very difficult to get any headway. Still, he has a lot of mutas. And he has +2 now. Elevation does not have +2 yet, and he's not making it. This is a great engage from Elevation though, because for some reason WhiskeyDingo's army was not synced up in one place. Can you get that? Yeah, he's gonna get that overlord. This is a lot of damage though, and I think this WhiskeyDingo has been getting a lot of value just purely from taking a lot of good engages over and over again. And now he's got so many mutas. I mean, there's too many spores here though. You don't really want to throw away your entire army to try and bust a natural. Not when you've got this base coming up. And I want to see this gas taken as well. I don't even know how many mutas there are here. It's got to be more than 2 control groups, I think. Oh, look at this. It's a hive. I don't know if you got the adrenaline upgrades. I guess adrenalines just completely kill. Oh, look at this. This is a very nice move. Scouting this this little move out with 3 mutas. At the same time, though, Scourge are coming in. Okay, managed to get 1 Mutalisk. He's trying to do what he can. He's actually going to pick off some drones here because WhiskeyDingo did not notice the Mutalisk moving across the map. But this time, Elevation is going to back off with his mutas. You need to keep your mutas alive at this point. You can't be losing more of them. So Elevation moving out again with small smattering of lings. But he knows that this base exists now. He knows that it's fairly weak. Oh, but there's actually nothing here. These lings could have... I suppose there's not really much point to doing counterattacks like this unless you're going for these drones over here, because there's 2 sunks in the main. So you can't really do much with a small number of lings. You need to try to go for these drones here or here. Hold on. Yeah, there we go. So we've got the hive now, but I'm not entirely sure what tech he's going to go for from here. I do actually kind of wonder if you just make like a couple of guardians, you could probably pick off at least these 2 spores and probably stop mining over here. Just if you just make a couple of them. So many mutas. The shadow is pitch black. Yeah, I think the problem for Elevation is he's on 2 bases. He doesn't have the right... He doesn't have tech as good as WhiskeyDingo's. And he's been up in drones for most of this game. And he has absolutely a ton of Scourge. But I think the hive tech is going to overwhelm him eventually. And even if you have this many spores, if you do a simultaneous attack with lings and this many mutas, you can absolutely just clear out everything. And I think that's what's going to happen right now. So let's see what happens. There we go. And these have to be adrenalings. Yeah, they are adrenalings. So this is quite an amazing attack. The spores are firing away though, and there's just tons of lings here from Elevation. There's actually way more lings here for Elevation than I expected, but it isn't going to be enough. Mutas are going to clear out the spores, and this natural is going to fall. And I think that's going to be GG. More lings coming in, and this main is completely mined out now. Almost completely mined out. So yeah, I'm just waiting for the GG here. There's really nothing else you can do. This is fatal damage. There's actually not even any stunks here at the moment. Yeah, very nicely played by WhiskeyDingo. By both players, really. And look at these adrenalines just mowing through the other lanes. It's such a big difference. More links just coming in. Yeah, what else is there to do here? Except the GG. It's 24 supply to 124 supply. Yeah. I guess Elevation is just going to wait until his entire base is completely dead. We might actually see elimination here. Are we sure this isn't fantasy playing? Maybe fantasy smurfing on Elevation's account. GG! And Elevation has left the game. I think very well played by both players. I definitely agree that Elevation lost too many mutas. Let me just update this. That's a 1 for WhiskeyDingo. That was a really great CVZ. Okay, let me load up the next one. This is gonna be on good night. Alright, we've got cross bonds on good night. Let me see what the natural colors are. Purple and blue, I guess that's good enough. So we've got elevation in the top right corner, and in the bottom left corner we've got WhiskeyDingo. Winner of the last game. And let's see what they want to open up with. I think both of these players are comfortable just playing macro games. They're probably not going to go for crazy all-in strats. Although Elevation went for a 10 hatch in the previous game. 10 hatch is not always an all-in build. It can actually transition. So we'll see if he goes for that again. So far so good. Both players are almost perfectly equal in mining, and I don't think Elevation is doing any boosting. This drone should be this drone should be boosting. Doesn't look like it. So we'll see. This is going to be a 12. This is going to be a 12 pool from WhiskeyDingo. 12 pool here as well. Perfectly mirrored build so far. Benches coming up on both sides. So they're gonna know where each other's spawning location is once these overlords meet, right here in the bottom right corner. So they're gonna know where each other is. Both sides now getting their first lings out. And both of them are just gonna wait at their natural. It's a perfectly even game so far, so it might actually turn to another long CVZ. Everything perfectly even. The only difference is that WhiskeyDingo went for the lair first. So this puts him at a slight advantage. I don't think Elevation's lair is going to be much later than this. And again, he's still making lings. I guess that when his gas reaches 150. Sorry, he already has the gas. WhiskeyDingo doing the first move out now. Gonna be seeing what's up. And look at this, there's a hatch coming down for Elevation. So I guess he's not gonna go for lair, he's gonna go for mass links probably. And if you're WhiskeyDingo in this situation, you have to be careful about teching up, because you can't just throw down a 200 mineral spire when you need to make lings. Very wisely throws down a sunk here. So he's going to be able to repel this attack, no problem. Might actually think about going after some of these lings once he knows he has a larger amount of them. Yeah, this sunk's gonna finish, and I think this is gonna get Elevation to back off, because he can't get into the main. Can't get any damage done at this moment. But his third hatch is up now. He's still making lings. Oh, he actually manages to get into the main. I guess WhiskeyDingo was not properly sealing off his ramp, but only one ling makes it in, so I don't think he's gonna get any kills. Just barely doesn't. Good reaction by WhiskeyDingo. Playing a very nice series, I have to say. Slight Swarm in the chat is hoping that we're gonna see Hydras. I don't think we are. Yeah, I don't think WhiskeyDingo... Oh, he actually has a very nice engage here on these lings while they were separated from the rest. But has to back off now because he doesn't have enough to actually do any damage here. And his Overlord's just been in the main. He sees that there's a lair being morphed, which is very good. But I think that was actually the first time he scouted the third hatch. Just massive amount of lings. And he has to take this seriously. He has to make more lings here. Because one sunk is not going to save the day here if you're like behind 6 or 7 lings or 8 lings or something. Oh, but this is just a beautiful engage by WhiskeyDingo. Getting the full surround on these lings and... yeah, he's gonna convincingly win this fight. This was super efficient by WhiskeyDingo. Super efficient. So really well done. So let's see what the tech is looking like here, because both sides have had to spend a lot of money on lings. And it looks like Elevation is happy to just go into the Evo Spore play again. It's really a matter of it's a matter of personal playstyle, whether you like the Spore play more or whether you like the Muta play more. Personally, I have a hard time playing with Spores. If you're against a good Muta using Zerg, it's very hard to make sure everything is covered properly. Oh look, this is a very good engage again. Basically the same engage that we saw at WhiskeyDingo's base, except with reversed sides. So Elevation, he got like a very short, very brief surround there for a moment. Managed to pick off a couple of things very efficiently. And I think it's totally the right move here from WhiskeyDingo to be making this extra sunk here. He is going to pick off one drone, and I think he's going to get out. Very nice by WhiskeyDingo to trap these lings as they were moving out. So I think so far WhiskeyDingo has basically outplayed Elevation. He's been very good in all the engages. And Elevation has his third hatch here. But what can he really do with it? He's got only 10 drones. And there's Mutas out right now, so you can't really mass ling him anymore. He's actually going for the attack upgrade this time. And I like that in this situation. Because there's no Mutas out just yet, so... I think this is a little bit wasteful though. I think when if you're gonna go in like this, when there's spores around, I think you should have at minimum 5 Mutas so you can one-shot the drones. Excuse me. Yeah, I mean, look at this. There's idle larva, right? If there's idle larva in your hatcheries, then what is the third hatch for? And there's the second spore coming up here, so this is going to cover everything. You can still maybe park the Mutas over here and block any kind of traffic between the main and the natural. But look at the economy. Like, WhiskeyDingo has 16 drones to Elevation's 10. So if WhiskeyDingo just plays solid from here, Might even just get another hatch, because you know that he has 3 hatches. And if you get a 3rd hatch, you can actually support it because you've got the economy to do so. Because with this low econ for elevation, a mass ling attack could actually be really devastating. You know, while he's committed to just making spores and defending against mutas. Elevation losing another Overlord there. I didn't catch it, but it was supply blocked for a moment there. And there's the 3rd hatch for WhiskeyDingo. These mutas are kind of just hovering around here. And yeah, look at this vision as well. This is very nice as well. He knows that there's a possibility that there could be some kind of a hidden hatch somewhere. So he sent out his links to scout for everything. WhiskeyDingo playing a very impressive series. He's really on top of everything. In this game especially. More mutas at home. +1 attack. And there's +1 armor coming up as well. So this is going to really give him a fantastic advantage against the opponent's mutas. You've got 1-1. Because these upgrades, if you want an upgrade for your mutas, it takes a very long time to get it right. Manages to hit some Scourge, that's very well done. Yeah, that's the thing, I mean, Scourge don't care about armor, right? What was I saying? Yeah, the upgrades actually cost, they actually take 167 seconds to make. So it takes absolutely forever to get your upgrades. If you're behind in upgrades, you're going to be behind in upgrades for a long time. And this is very nicely done. I did not realize that the spore doesn't actually cover this hatch. So, manages to damage it though, but he does decide to back off for now. I actually think he could just get the hatch. That would be nice to do. If you get the hatch, you can actually just mass ling him, right? Because you've got 3 hatches and you've got a better economy. Actually, speaking about economy, Elevation has managed to catch up in drone count. I didn't even realize it, but yeah. That's very impressive. But look at the supply difference. 70 to 29. That's incredible. I know that, of course, it's on spores, so you can't really attack in. Yeah, maybe you could make another spore here. I don't know. Maybe make it here for the SimCity. Yeah, so I like the idea of WhiskeyDingo taking up a more aggressive stance here, because he's gonna be behind the mutas, and he doesn't really have that many links to speak of. I mean, what is there here except for 1 sunk? Got this many mutas, they're upgraded, you've got Zerglings. You know that there's no other bases. So WhiskeyDingo is playing very conservatively, just trying to get more ahead, which is fine as well. But I think if you attack in here with your lings, I think you can get a lot of damage done. Yeah, this was not a bad engage for Elevation. I mean, you don't really care about 1 or 2 drones being lost here. Oh no, the muta's getting aggroed into the spores. And at this point I actually think maybe the muta count is actually the same. No, that's actually not true. There's actually not that many mutas for Elevation. Then these 3 are going to merge up with these, so I think WhiskeyDingo has a full flock of mutas right now. Yeah, I think a combined attack with lots of lings and these mutas could be very strong. But Elevation managed to get a nice group of lings out as well. So he might want to play it just like last time, just tech up to Hive, as he has done. Get Adrenaline. Look, let's see what we can get done here. I mean, if these are... I don't think these are Adrenalines, am I wrong? Yeah, they have to not be, because they lost that fight, and they shouldn't have lost the fight if they were Adrenalines, so... Bit of an anti-timing there. Because I do definitely think this is strong in this situation where there's just one sunk and just spores and mutas. But finally Elevation manages to actually get out onto the map for a change. And looks like all the mutas are going to go down to try and stop these lings here. I don't think you really need to. I think you just rally a couple of lings down here and try to hold this. With things you already have. Yeah, I mean, even if they'd gotten all of these drones right here, it wouldn't have been a huge deal, I think. Given how far WhiskeyDingo's ahead. And here's the Adrenaline upgrade being made now. Yeah, WhiskeyDingo is so far ahead. It's gonna take a bit of a miracle for Elevation to get back in here. Maybe if Elevation just goes Mass Scourge and manages to somehow scourge all of these mutas, maybe he can do something. At the very least, he's picking up a good number of Overlords here. That's a very good start, I'd have to say. Still plenty of minerals for Elevation.
Circling reinforcements arriving.
Ah, Arc Sabbath. Thanks for the follow, man. Hope you're having a good time. Hope you're enjoying the games. Look at this. This is the point where you realize you have to back out because Jesus Whips is now following. Thanks for the follow, man. Because when you have this many more mutas than your opponents, you win the fight really seriously, and you're gonna have nothing left, and then you're gonna be boxed to your base again. And now we're having Adrenaline versus non-Adrenaline. And Elevation actually managed to hold off that attack much better than I thought he did, but he lost all of his lings as a result. And WhiskeyDingo's economy is so good that he can just rally more and more lings there and just go at it again and again. And I don't think Elevation is going to be able to withstand this for much longer. I mean, you can't really do anything here. You actually need these mutas at home to defend. I get that he's going to try to commit to a counterattack, and this could actually do damage, to be honest, because there's actually literally nothing at home. And it's going to take a while for these mutas to get back. Okay, so very quickly WhiskeyDingo realizes he's been had and he has to send all of his mutas back here to defend. Oh my god, this is so much damage. But at the same time, there's an attack going on here in the natural of Elevation. And I think all of these mutas are going to die. Or at least the vast majority of them are. And yeah, WhiskeyDingo manages to break through that one sunk that was there, and now there's just nothing left to defend here. And I think this is going to be it. It's going to be GG. And despite the fact that Elevation managed to kill a ton of drones just now, WhiskeyDingo is still ahead in drones. He's massively ahead in drones. Now there's no more spores, and now the natural is going to fall. We'll see how long it takes for Elevation to GG at this point. But this game is totally over. I mean, you can make a ton of spores and sunks, but then you're just not going to have drones, right? He's got 8 drones now because he just morphed about 6 or 7 of them into creep colonies. He actually remade the Evo chamber because he can't make spores otherwise. Very good point as well. Some hardcore Zerg on Zerg action here. Yeah, all these Munas are just gonna destroy everything that's left here, and I'm surprised that Elevation hasn't GG'd yet. There we go! GG! It's a 2-0 victory for WhiskeyDingo. Very nice series. I actually think that maybe Elevation just enjoyed looking at his own base being smashed to bits by Mutas, because why else would you stay in this game? Hold on just a second. I have to do some stuff. Okay, let me update the scoreboard. That was a 2-0. Another 2-0 for Korean Mechanics. Yeah, Savior versus Dada on Neo Arkanoid. That was, I think that was the match in which, was that Dada? Where he floated his command center over to another base after his main had basically been killed. No, I think I'm probably thinking of another match. I think that was Fantasy actually. Maybe you can elaborate what you mean, Light Swarm. What was that game about? Savior versus Dada. Epic Hydra Lurker versus SK Terran. Oh, okay. You mean Hydra Lurker Defiler? That's interesting. So let's get into our last match of the day. Which is going to be Triple T versus El Pinguino. Alright, in the top spawn we've got El Pinguino. Bottom spawn we've got Triple T. And because this is butter, both overlords are going in the correct direction. Who would have thought? So let's see what kind of openings we're going to go with this time. So far so good. 8 drones. There's no super early pool at least. But I don't think you can actually do that on this map. There's no point, unless you're going 4 pool, there's no point to doing something like a 7 pool or something. So the pool's going to come down on 9. And El Pinguino is going to go for a 9 hatch. There it is. So a 9 hatch is fine against, that's actually a good build against a 9 pool. Even though speed is going to finish. Well, we actually saw this before, right? We saw the 10 hatch in, I think, the first game. And the 10 hatch was quite favorable against 9 pool. Because of the larva advantage. So El Pinguino getting into his gas now. I wonder if he's gonna just mine 100 gas for link speed and then stop and try to finish the game with just pure links from there. I think if he does that, it's gonna be a little difficult for Triple T to defend. Hatch gonna finish, but very soon the links will be there. And there the first links are gonna start coming out. So he's gonna hold this 9 pool perfectly fine. Actually, Triple T has stopped in the middle of the map, so his speed advantage is basically gone now. Still 8 links coming up, and still in production for El Pinguino. Okay, we've got 6 links now. And you have to be careful. You can't be taking a poor engagement here, or you're gonna lose all your links, and then it could still snowball, despite the fact that you have a larva advantage. Yeah, plenty of links out here now, so El Pinguino perfectly safe against this 9 pool. And I think from here, as Triple T, you have to... actually, he had a very nice engage there just now. And with these links coming out one by one, he can actually get a lot of damage on them. It's actually kind of surprising that he's doing this well against this. He shouldn't be doing this well against it, but he is. I think El Pinguino should have waited a little bit longer to have a really overwhelming number of links. Because when you have that many more links than your opponent, you really, really badly win the fight. And at this moment, Triple T just has the upper hand. I mean, his links are very injured, though. So I don't think he's going to be able to press his advantage. Because there's still more links just coming out for El Pinguino, and these links are not being reinforced at the moment. There's a hatch coming down. I think Triple T realizing that oh, he's actually getting a 3rd hatch. So Triple T is gonna all in the all-in. Well, that's not a bad idea if he just stays back. I don't think he should be... Unless he's going to try to threaten a counterattack. This is actually a very good move here, because the links were inexplicably split up into 2 groups for El Pinguino. So now El Pinguino has to send all his links home to defend, which gives Triple T more time to get his 3rd hatch up. But the problem is Triple T has only 7 drones. And he can't be losing his links. Be careful. Keep them all together and wait for your advantage to kick in. So that, yeah, I think Triple T has been taking the better engages here so far. Yet more links coming down. And this hatchery is now up and running. And actually he should be making more links. And he's going to be supply blocked very soon, so... Maybe he should wait just a little bit more. Until all his links are there. But he decides to engage. This is very even, but it looks like Triple T is winning. And yeah, he just barely has more links, and when you've got just barely more links, you win the fight. And when you win the fight, you've got more links left over for the follow-up attack. Yeah, very nicely done by Triple T. Got a 3rd hatch, and I think that was the right response to what El Pinguino was doing. And this is more the way that CVC is supposed to look like, right? El Pinguino versus Triple T. That's a 0-1. So let me just load up game 2. Yeah, I've definitely had that problem where you're supply blocked and you panic and then you just make 3 overlords at the same time. Oh, Triple T kind of messing up his splits. Oh no! Well, it should be fine. Just lost 1 second of mining time. It's not a big deal. But we have in the bottom right corner El Pinguino. In the top left corner Triple T. It's cross spawns. So a very long rush distance here. We'll see how that pans out in terms of openings. Whoever picks the more greedy opener here should have a nice advantage. And it looks like Triple T is actually sending his Overlord in the opposite direction than the place we would normally want to send it. I'm not going to call it the wrong direction, but normally you would send it down from this position, right? You would send it counterclockwise on this map. So you see the opponent's natural first. But he's going to send it the other way, but that means that the Overlords are going to be meeting up in the top right corner, which means they're going to be scouting each other, at least seeing what the spawning location is at the same time. It looks like El Pinguino is going for the 9 hatch again. And meanwhile, this is a 9 pool again from Triple T, and actually he got the extractor before he redroned, which is interesting. That's not how you're supposed to do it, right? Or am I wrong? I think you're supposed to drone up again and then get your extractor, but I'm not sure. So it was a pool on 9, extractor on 8. Which means he's going to get his speed really quickly. And El Pinguino's speed is going to be behind, but that's going to be okay, I think. Triple T mining gas now and moving his drones off gas after getting 100. Getting his link speed right away, and his links are just about to pop. So he doesn't know where his opponent is yet. Let's see where he decides to send his links. These Overlords are going to be meeting up in the top right corner. Oh, actually, El Pinguino is sending his Overlord away, so they're not going to meet. They're just barely out of range here. Just barely. Oh, Triple T is going down. Is he going to see it? Yes, he is. So let's see if he reacts and sends his links the other way. Nope, not yet. But he actually did send 1 ling into the correct direction, just to scout, which is not a bad move. This ling is going to get pulled back, but El Pinguino is going to be completely fine, I think. At this point, you've got enough lings out from 2 hatches that you can hold off just about anything. It's going to be painful if he starts losing lings in the middle of the map like this. So there's 1 ling coming up. It's not going to do anything, I think, because the rally is going to be enough to stop that. And El Pinguino actually did not see the Overlord either, so he sent his ling in 2 directions. 1 ling in the main, gonna get picked off, I'm sure. And so we have a bit of a standoff here, but El Pinguino is completely fine. And let's see what Triple T does to counter this 9 hatch. I'm sure he knows that this is a 9 hatch, considering the ling advantage, the early ling advantage. So he's getting his 3rd hatch. Just like last game. Just have to back off here. You don't want to be throwing away all your lings and then get sieged outside your own natural. But here comes the timing. Let's see if Triple T can defend this in time. I really wish he had put down a spore. I think that would be a good idea. And this is going to be a great engage for El Pinguino. And now that the engage happened a little bit before all of Triple T's links were out, El Pinguino just completely wins this fight, like overwhelmingly. But I don't think he's gonna get the hatch. I think... Oh, actually, he's going for a counterattack. But is this gonna work? Because he's gonna have enough links at home to defend, I think. So this hatch falls. I mean, he has this other hatch, but now he doesn't really have any way to fight this big ling advantage that El Pinguino has. Supply is 23 to 16. But Triple T doesn't really want to give up a drone to make a sunk here because, you know, you're already on 7 drones. So what can he do here? I think El Pinguino can... Problem is if you take an engage right here on this ramp, and if it's not favorable for you, then you can still just lose the fight, despite having more links. Gets up the ramp, very nice. But he's just gonna barely lose this fight anyway. And I think now Triple T should be able to hold on here. Because the attack from El Pinguino is not synchronized enough. His lings are still coming in. He needs to be completely... he needs to have all his lings in one place before he goes for an engage like this. Otherwise, it's just not going to be cost efficient. Just managed to get a ling in. It's kind of cool. Maybe you can do a counter attack while this big attack is going on. So here we go. Let's see if El Pinguino can finish. Oh no, he backs off. I think he should have committed there. I think he actually had a good engage there. But at the same time, there's more links coming still, so I can understand it. And now the sunk's coming up. I think this is the right time to pounce on these links. I think this is going to be... Oh no, they're attacking the hatch. They shouldn't be attacking the hatch. You want the links to be attacking links. You don't want them to be attacking anything else, even a sunk. No, and that's really a shame because I think El Pinguino had the opportunity to just kill all the lings here and win the fight and kill all the drones, and he'd be in game 3, but unfortunately I don't think he can do it now. I mean, you can keep these links coming out. Oh, actually he has 3 hatch. I did not realize that. I did not realize he has 3 hatch, but I guess that makes sense because he has been able to keep on supplying his attack here. So we'll see if this can work. They're both on the same amount of drones now. And you need 9 drones to be able to continuously produce from 3 hatches. So it's not going to be a 100% efficient 3 hatch econ. But we'll see. Thing is, Triple T has the sunk, and he's gonna get the second sunk, so we'll see what happens here. This is the great engage, and it's gonna be a won or lost here, I feel. Because I think if you can't break through this number of links here with this advantage that you have. Actually, it's not that bad. I don't think the game is going to end anytime soon. It is actually a little bit surprising that Triple T is hanging on so well with 2 hatches versus 3 hatches. But here it comes. I think he's not going to get a better advantage than this. And Triple T's links get completely decimated. Still, you've got links attacking sunks. It's not really what you want. So I think they're going to break this sunk. But now he's going to lose. Oh, El Pinguino just taps out. I actually don't think he should have... I don't think he necessarily had to tap out there. I think there was still a lot of game left, right? Because, you know, he's got his 3 hatches, and it's not like Triple T has any tech. He's got sunks and 2 hatches, and he's got 1 drone less. So maybe El Pinguino is just tilted about his build not working out for him. Yeah, I can get how that feels, but yeah, I feel that was maybe a bit of an early GG from him. I think he should have kept playing, and I think he actually could have won the game over time. But that's going to be it. That's a GG. So that's going to be a 2-0. We've had only 2-0s in this group, which is kind of amazing. Yeah, this was kind of an interesting group. We saw a lot of different CVCs. We saw a couple of really long ones, and then El Pinguino versus Triple T, very short, no mutas, just pure Ling. And I think those kinds of games are very interesting as well, because you need to really scout what the opponent's doing. You need to know how to properly balance your economy and make sure you don't get supply blocked, and react to what the opponent's doing. And that can be quite difficult. It can be quite difficult to fight against a 9-hatch, even if you have a build that should technically work against it. So yeah, I think this is going to be it. I think that's going to be the end of our matches here. So it's a full sweep from Korean Mechanics. They completely cleared the 4 Pool Lifeguards, unfortunately. And we have only 3 games in this group because 2 other games were walkovers, unfortunately. So that's going to be it for us. So thanks everyone for watching. I'm going to just turn the music back on. And then we're going to listen to some music, and then I'm going to end the stream. So thanks all for watching. And see you next time. Bye.